Hey, it is Clay, and in this video I want to try something different. If you're aware, maybe you're not aware, the vlog is still pretty new, so we're just still trying out ideas. So right off the bat, on that note, if this turns out to be the dumbest thing ever and there's really no value in it, just let me know down in the comments. But if you do like it, the easiest way to communicate that is to click the like button. What I want to do is just go through and look through the lens of a trader, especially in this case, somebody with a job, how they go about their day, what they're looking to do, and just kind of, hey, let me come along with you and walk us through what a typical day and routine looks like. So who I have here is Nate Wilson, and he is a member of the community. He's been on at least like 3 of the podcasts, part of ClayTrader University. We do weekly live webinars, and I'll interview traders within that, and he's done like 3 or 4 interviews there. And one of my favorite stories, I've done a blog article on him, but I like to do case studies, and that's a section on the website where just, hey, this is what's going on with this trader, and just give a little overview. So this is kind of like a case study, I guess, as I'm talking out loud, but it's just in video format. But anyways, the story said, hey Nate, we're friends, we're in his house right now, so that's kind of where the setting is right now. Thanks for having me, by the way.
No problem. Anytime.
He's a good guy. But anyways, so I was like, Nate, hey, you've been doing well. We trade very similar. I'd like to do a case study. Can you send me your month's results? And of course, he gives me grief. And then he sends me his month's results. And it's every single day is green. I'm like, okay. Can you send me another month's results? Because, and to be fair to the people out there, I'm like, nobody's going to believe that. Like, nobody's be like, oh, that's all Photoshop. And I get it because there's so much sketchiness. There's so much, sleazeball marketing. I'm like, all right, can you send me another month? So of course he gives me a bunch of grief. The next month, all green, every single day green. I'm like, listen, can you send me another month? Send me a month where you actually had a red day, because nobody's gonna believe all this. So you sent me, I think
it was just
that final month.
Yeah, the month prior.
Oh, the month prior.
Yeah.
And they finally sent one. It was like 2 red days.
Yeah.
So I'll put the link below if you want to see the blog article, and you can see all the pictures But yeah, so the point being is he does well. He's humble about it. But yeah, it's. I think this has potential where you can just kind of see how he approaches it, what his routine is with the job. So, like I said, we're in his house. So where do things start off for you on a daily basis? And disclosure, real quick, it's Saturday, so this isn't quite real. We couldn't go into his office, which we are going to go into today. But like when there's people working there. Yeah. Having a camera crew there is probably wouldn't have worked out. So that's why it is Saturday, but let's pretend like it's a Friday. So okay. What time do you get up and stuff like that to start the day?
So usually
this is a terrible interview. Let me at first, is there any homework going on? Like, did you do any homework the previous night?
No.
Okay. No. For your trading. You're not looking for setups or anything previous night?
Nope. So no homework, didn't go home, look at the computer at all. Probably did my other normal evening routine, which has nothing to do with the stock market. But as far as waking up goes, just for context, I have to be at work like around 9. Luckily, I have a flexible schedule, so there's no real exact time. I don't have to punch a clock or anything. It's just I personally aim for around 9 o'clock. But part of the reason I aim for 9 is because the market opens at 9:30. Yep. So usually I'm a slow mover in the morning. So
which you just experienced.
So
by the way, let me just tell viewers, he's so polite. I'm just like, I wake up, I rolled out of bed, I'm like, let's get this video. He went and took a shower, and this is not exactly well, I guess it's genuine because that's part of your morning routine. You shower, okay.
Yeah,
that's
so
fair enough.
Genuinely, I wake up, I set my alarm clock for 7 o'clock, and that's because 1, I like to hit snooze at least 1 time. Okay. And then 2, I like to come down and sit right here and have my morning coffee
while makes a good cup of coffee, I will attest.
While I watch a little bit of TV and kind of wake up.
And the TV is right there, which you can't see. So what are you watching? ESPN Sports Center or something?
Yeah, so 9 times out of 10, it's Sports Center on ESPN.
And I asked that because, so it's not like you're pulling up CNBC.
No.
Like you have no idea what's going on with the financial headlines at this point. Okay.
I don't. Okay. Now, once upon a time, I used to kind of do stuff like that. Like I look at CNBC and stuff, but really lately for like the last, I don't know, probably a year, I haven't ever.
Because it just doesn't fit into your strategy,
No,
right?
it just
doesn't
don't
matter.
Yeah, I just don't pay attention.
And if maybe you're new or not, that doesn't mean that this is like, he's not making blatant statements. This is how everybody, that's the whole point of this video series. This is how Nate, this is how his strategy, what his morning, what his day looks like. So we're not saying that CNBC is worthless, but for his strategy, he can wake up and watch ESPN if he wants to, Sports Center.
So I'll watch ESPN, Sports Center, drink a cup of coffee, and I will like pull up my email on my phone, so that way like I know that helps me gauge how early I need to get to work, because there may or may not be emails that need attention before like I can start trading. So if I want to trade from 9:30 to 10:30 or 11, like I got to make sure there isn't any time sensitive work that has to be handled before that can happen. So
you're basically reverse engineering your whole daily schedule in the morning, because you know you want to be able to trade.
Yeah, so
you know what time you have to be free, so therefore you may have to go into the office earlier or later.
Yeah, so like if I look on the email and it's like, you know, there's something that would be time sensitive where it came through like after I went to bed, but it's saying like, you know, we'll get you this first thing in the morning.
Right.
Like I can't then send it at 11:30 or whatever when I'm done trading, so I have to send it out before. So then that'll kind of change how long I sit here and drink coffee, or do I go up and get in the shower, a half hour sooner so I could do that. But so I do all that. Then usually I'll go in and make breakfast, and then after breakfast go up, take a shower, and get dressed.
Do you do anything in particular?
For breakfast, yeah. So for breakfast, I pretty much eat the same thing every day, which is 2 eggs, turkey bacon, and some cheese on like one of those bagel thin.
Yeah.
Wheat bagel thins.
Maybe that's a holy grail of trading.
So,
like I said, click the link below, and he's very consistent trader. So maybe that's the key, though.
I don't know. Same thing
Give
every
it
day.
a try. If you're struggling, try turkey bacon.
Pretty much. So eat that, go up, get in the shower, and get changed, and then it's pretty much out the door, and nothing really special.
And then you head to the office.
Yeah, then I go out the door to the office. Yep.
So that is where we're going to see you next. So we are at the office, and I mean, this is where you work, right?
Well, we're in the warehouse that's attached to Oriole Park at Camden Yards. So for those of you who know the stadium, it's the big brick building, and
left field, right?
Well, it's out. Yeah, I mean, it pretty much
entire outfield
runs, from the entire length of the stadium. I mean, essentially, it would be more like right field to center field, but it actually goes much further than that on the road.
Sweet.
So here we are. We get off, and then.
But normally this is like normally 9 o'clock, right?
A little bit before, yeah. So like between 8:45 and 9:15, anywhere in that range, and then we head off the elevator down this hall. And we come in, and then go around the corner. My personal office.
This is your office. The office. This just brings a tear to my eye to see this. And in all seriousness, this is what goes into actually succeeding in trading. Hard work, doesn't happen overnight, and effort. So this will sound like a sales pitch, but it's not. So one of the courses I offer, it comes with study guides, and I don't know if I, so you print these out, but this is what it's all about. Not only doing the study guides, but you look here, the notes, and these are all interactive, so I'm assuming, were you answering questions? Are these
Yeah, I mean, I was following along with the
Okay.
videos or doing
Yeah,
whatever.
so I mean, you just look at all this, and he's taking notes. So yeah, the glitz and the glamour of things, the potential is there, don't get me wrong, but also, it takes a lot of effort, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is, just look, page upon page of notes and pointing things out. This is what it takes. This is the reality of things. You know, it's not, oh, I found some YouTube video that's 15 minutes long and it's going to teach me everything I need to know. I got some oceanfront property in Utah that I'll sell you if you believe stuff like that. So, yeah, here are the guides. This wasn't staged, all right? Do you always just keep them on your desk?
Yeah, they are always sitting there for however long.
Nice.
I forget, what's this notebook? Oh yeah, that's from the courses too.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know what there was a lot of them.
Wow. Look at all that. No, and this, can you see the thick, I mean, this is a, and then just notes, pages of notes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's literally, if you hate school, I don't want to learn, well then, sorry. Well, you got to treat this like a business, you got to treat it like school in a sense. And that's a lot of notes right there.
Yeah.
On top of all that. And there's probably more notes that
Somewhere.
you've taken, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because
that's good.
at first I think I referred, like this, I think this stuff was, yeah, this is robotic trading right up front.
Okay.
And so I think like at first I was like referring
Yeah,
to,
it's funny. Isn't it funny though to look back?
yeah.
And you're looking at like what these things mean, and
Mean,
like you just
yeah.
take it for granted now. It's like breathing air, but at some point you had no idea what that was. So you
Yeah,
had to
because I
take
think
notes.
down in here, I had notes on how to scan, I don't know, you know how to scan for, it looks, so there's like the level 2 course.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then diluting them, it's like.
But those still. I mean, they're still in VFin, Vert. Yeah.
So anyway, but I think there was like scanning,
Yep. The hunt in there and
way to scan, oh, there we go, so.
Yep.
So, I think at first I think I was like referring back to stuff,
Right.
using them. But yeah, so I keep them. They just sit on the corner of my desk over here every day, and I haven't looked at them in a while, but they're
It's
there.
so funny though to just see the basic stuff, which now you would take for granted.
Yeah. So back to the morning routine. Walk in, come sit at the desk, and yeah, start to open all my little applications. So first one usually is the work email. But meanwhile, I pull open my brokerage account.
Lightspeed trading. I use the same one.
And
And there's no connection right now because the markets are closed. Okay, so the next thing you're doing is opening up what?
this is TOS.
So Thinkorswim.
Thinkorswim.
And you just use them for their charts. So you're
Yeah.
not using them to execute trades. And you use them for their chart, or why do you use them for their charts? I guess that'd be the best way to.
Because they're free. I mean, that was.
Yeah.
I had.
And you just like the charts, right? So it's not like that's the key. You just personally like them, and they happen to be free.
Well, I guess the reality was I was using, before I opened a Lightspeed account, I was using TD Ameritrade anyway. So, like, I already had that account open and it was just easy to use.
Do you have to keep money deposited in there?
Well, yeah, I have like I own stocks in that
Oh, okay.
account. So they're,
For like your long-term accounts?
yeah, just old. I think there's some Facebook shares in there from back in the day. So then, yeah, then all my charts pop up.
So that's your main chart right there that you
Yeah.
use?
So I have, if we scroll over. So this is like what my setup looks like.
Yeah, that's just going to keep popping up.
It is.
Yeah, because the markets are closed, so it's going to keep, so just ignore it, yeah.
So this is what my main setup looks like. This is a 2-minute chart, 5-minute chart over here, then daily, and then this is the S&P.
So 2 minute,
5
minute, daily, and then what's that one?
This is the S&P
5 minute.
5
Oh, okay,
minute,
so that's
yeah.
just giving you the overall market.
Yeah. And so this is like, so usually what I trade off of is this 2-minute chart and this 5-minute chart for whatever ticker symbol I have popped up.
So this is your main screen because you have level 2s.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that? So you have two
This
level
is-
2s?
Well, this is the option.
Oh, the options.
Level 2, which
You don't
I-
probably use much?
I don't use anymore, but at one point we were
Right.
doing it. But this is
So if this was
My
not
order
Saturday,
entry
this would be populated with information. But again, it's Saturday, so not all this stuff is actually.
So this is where I put in my orders. This is where it shows up, like if you've seen the live trade videos, like where it's either white, green, yellow here, and then once I'm in a trade, it shows.
All right, so let me ask you
My
this:
P&L.
what time are you sitting down at your desk to start to do this stuff?
Yeah, so
On average.
Yeah, usually, but somewhere between 8:45 and 9:15, I sit down, and so I literally open all this stuff up. If you get closer, like here are like this risers and fallers right here. This will have stocks that are like gapping up, gapping down, and then the most active volume-wise from like overnight or pre-market trading, and so that's usually where I find the tickers that I'm going to be watching out of the gates, as well as like what people post in the chat room. And then, so like I'll pull up the charts, and that's where I kind of look at the daily a little bit just to gauge kind of the overall context of like where the stock is going to open up relative to the daily chart. And then
Relatively like supports, resistances, stuff like that.
yeah, so like if it's, even just checking the trend, like versus like if it's a major bull trend and it's gapping down to that, is it gapping down to some,
Or if you're getting a
previous
gap down in a
support?
bear river.
Yeah, or whatever.
Just break it through a support, then you know that, yeah.
Yeah, so just get context for it. But again, it doesn't take long. Like I just look quickly. It's not like I'm going back on the daily chart for, 4 years to see
Right.
where it is. It's just literally in context of where it's been recently.
So how long do you think this whole pre-market thing, I mean, I know how long.
Minutes.
But I mean,
It takes me 5 minutes max. I mean,
whereas some people, if you listen to the podcast, they come in and they're doing homework the night before, and then they got homework they have to do pre-market.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but that just goes to illustrate how there's so many strategies out there in the market. Whereas Nate just showing up, and I can attest because we trade very similarly. Can you say that word for me?
yeah, similar.
Literally.
Similar.
Yeah, it's not that easy,
Yes,
is it?
yes,
Especially when
right.
there's a camera shoved in your face. Anyways, our trading styles are very common. There we go.
No, very similar.
Similar. There we go. Anyways, see, we just proved that anybody can trade, right?
Yeah,
that
right.
was not our brightest moment there.
English isn't our strong
Yeah,
suit.
but point being, there's nothing wrong if you're doing a bunch of stuff, but there's also nothing wrong if you're like, yeah, I kind of just show up.
Yeah.
Check. Basically, that's the risers and fallers, which is what you saw earlier.
Yeah.
That's your bread and butter. That's pretty much where you're doing all your quick research from right there.
Yeah.
Along with the chat room.
Right. And then, so once I pull all that stuff up, then usually I go back to my work email, do whatever work emails I have to do in the first 15, 20 minutes I'm here, and then usually just then wait for the opening bell to go off. And then once that goes off, I follow I usually have one ticker open and then follow along with the little scanner that Lightspeed provides, and just find tickers to then pull up the charts for.
What? How long do you like to be like in the zone? Like for me, as soon as I see 25, I like to try to just keep. Okay, I'm not leaving the computer anymore. I'm not doing anything else. I need to just get focused in. Do you have a certain amount?
No, because like
So you're fine. It could be 9:28 or 9:29, and you'd be fine with just getting ready from that point.
yeah, because if like usually that's what I like. I'll already have decided on one random ticker to
Right.
start with, and that could be any time in that first 30 minutes that I'm here. Because then sometimes like I'll look down and it's 9:25, and like I'll be like, oh crap, and like run to the bathroom, so that way
Yeah.
I don't have to go in the next hour or anything like that. And sometimes if I'm engrossed in a work email, like luckily TD Ameritrade does a ding 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 like when the market starts, so sometimes I'm like in the middle of a work email and the thing will ding, and I'll then click over and like try to catch up. I mean, obviously usually I don't do that on purpose, but it happens.
Right.
And so that's my normal routine. Then I trade from 9:30 to 10:30, 11, somewhere in that range, and then usually get a snack and then go back to my regular job.
I think we pretty much covered everything. You're usually looking to be done by noonish, probably.
Yeah,
But you'll take trades later on in the day sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on,
Yeah.
like, everything. After 10:30, 11, I've moved
Then,
on
yeah.
really to work. But that doesn't mean I don't casually look over at stuff
Right,
or
right.
whatever. I do have the chat room open all day, pretty much.
Yeah, we're aware. Yeah.
Even though I don't look at it, like, if, like, the ding goes off for, like, I have the over $1 room will ding when someone posts in there,
Okay.
but not the lounge. So
Right, okay.
it just so like sometimes if I'm not like fully engrossed in work, like if I'm kind of just like
Bored.
casually doing
Yeah.
something or like, and there's a ding, like I'll flip over to see what it is,
Right,
and then
right.
maybe I go look, maybe I don't. But sometimes that's where, like if I get a nuts alert and it's a ding and I hear it, like I'll definitely trade
Yeah,
that.
right,
but
right.
it just all the stars have to align
Yeah.
kind of at that point. And
You
then
just have to be by your computer.
yeah. And there's times like my job is pretty relaxed in the sense of like I don't have like my boss doesn't come in and like stand over my shoulder and like make sure I'm working
Yeah.
like the second I'm in here till the second I'm done. So like if I'm ever like working on a project and I just need like a little bit of a mental break,
Right.
like sometimes if I don't pull up like my fantasy football team or whatever else on the
Yeah.
internet, like sometimes I'll pull up in the lounge and just, try to make comments in there and,
Yeah, that are-
make myself smile.
Yeah, exactly. And driver, no, not everybody.
Just you mainly.
Just mainly just me.
Try to drive you nuts.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah, but so I would say usually I'm done by like 10:30, 11. Like if I look down at the clock and I see it's later than 10:30 and I feel like I'm starting to like get to the point where I'm gonna
Start forcing trades,
something,
yeah.
I'll quit.
Mhm.
I'll make sure, and that's when like the one thing that helps me is like I then have a snack around 10:30, 11, and me getting up to like physically go get that helps me be like
takes your mind off
it's
of things.
yeah, time to shut it down.
Yep. And then you can just get back. But probably 90% of the time you're not doing afternoon trading or anything like that.
No, yeah.
That'd be very rare circumstance.
Yeah, like I said,
Like a nuts alert or something like that.
But even then, like I miss some of the nuts alerts because
like you said, the stars have to align, meaning
yeah, it's
you
got
just
to
have to be at your computer,
Yeah.
hear the ding, and all that.
and look at it because sometimes I'll hear a ding and I won't go look because I'm working on something else,
Right.
and if I'm doing that and paying attention
Right.
to that, I don't want to break what I'm doing to go look
Yeah.
at every ding because 9 times out of 10 I don't care.
The ding doesn't pertain
Yeah,
to
so-
the strategy, yeah.
Yeah, and we go and like and I'll have my lunch break and stuff, and so then sometimes I'll sit down and sometimes I pull up just tickers just that I have like in like my retirement account or whatever else,
Right,
and just
right.
see what they're doing or randomly throughout the day. So I'm not paying attention, but I'm not constantly paying
Yeah, it's
attention.
not like when the bell rings. So
Yeah.
so that's a good summary. So that's pretty much how he goes about it. As how would you classify him? A short-term day trader. He's trading within, like, if you hold more than like 5 minutes, you're like, wow, this is a long trade.
Yeah, I feel
5
like
minutes would be a super long trade for you.
yeah, I feel like I'm wasting my time at that point.
Yeah. So
It doesn't mean
there's
it doesn't
nothing
happen. Like
yeah.
I've gotten those ones where I've been stuck for like a half hour
Yeah.
because it's just not doing anything.
And a half an hour for our trade is just like an eternity.
Oh, it
Yeah,
feels
yeah.
like forever.
Now that doesn't mean it's bad. That just means for us, again, all strategies are different. But he is just a day trading scalper where, assuming you as viewers found this video helpful, maybe at some point I'll talk to a swing trader where 2 o'clock in the afternoon is like a prime time for them to do something within their strategy. Whereas within this strategy, it's like
Yeah.
snooze fest. You have there's better uses of your time. So I think that does a good job. Like I said, this is just experimental. If you have questions or other things, don't worry about his computer. His computer is nothing fancy. It's not from 1995, but it's by no means like the most cutting edge technology. It's the notebooks. That's what's going to get you far. Not the speed of your computer, not the quality of your computer. The notebooks, the effort you put in to learn the craft, is going to be what takes you. So I can already see right now. Oh, what about his? Don't worry about his computer. It's not from '95. That's all you need to know. It was built a couple years ago. But any other questions that maybe we're overlooking or suggestions, leave those in the comment section below. And if this is worthwhile, again, the easiest way to communicate that, click the like button, and I'll try to put together some more of these in the future as time kind of makes itself, I guess, available to do so. So yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, click that like button and let us know what you think.